now.
Okay, let me take a quick peek and make sure. I think we should be good to go, but
I believe.
let's make sure of that. Kdot. Yes, yeah, you're live, bro.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so Kdot has called a meeting amongst all of our subscribers, which is what 30, almost 34,000 strong. This, yeah, but mostly on Kdot side. He's got 30K. Melissa, welcome. Oh, I said welcome to you. You're on the Kdots. That's awesome. It all comes up here, and I can see every comment and stuff. But friends in code, welcome. Teresa, welcome. Nice to have you here. Yes, Solomon, you are. He's a MLH Solemn monster. Yes, you are. Let's see. Um, Okay, K Dot. Guest today is K Dot, or I'm a guest on his. Vice versa. I mean, can't have one without the other, right, K Dot? I mean,
Absolutely, can't
uh,
have it.
yep. Jen is in the chat. Welcome. All right, everybody, welcome. K Dot is on the line here. K Dot, we are here to discuss a subject that we didn't want to come to this conclusion, but we've come to a very thought driven conclusion about the current interim chief, Art Acevedo.
Correct. Um, I don't believe I've asked for any resignation of a chief in our city before.
Yeah.
Um, Not even Oates' old ass, because I
Yeah.
already knew he was
And
gonna be
and
out the
if
door
anybody,
anyway.
right.
Um, so I want to be very clear. I do not stand with the chief or Aurora Police concerning the matters of the young man who was shot and killed, the 14-year-old. I want to make myself very, very, very clear. Um, I also talked to Jeff, the Aurora PD monitor, who provides oversight when it comes to the consent decree, and I made it clear there will be no kumbaya between me and the chief.
Right. Because Jeff was
It,
basically trying
hold,
to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, K Dot.
um, yeah, there will be no kumbaya between me and the chief. Me and MLH were civil with you multiple times. We sat you down and told you what the community needed, what you needed to correct your behavior on. Um, I'm the type of person I don't really like repeating myself if it's not necessary, especially if you're a coherent adult and you seemed like to be a coherent adult art. And I'm not going to hold your hand through this situation. I stand with the community. Whatever the community decides, I stand with at the end of the day. And your services, and I'm making this a public announcement. Your services are no longer fucking needed in this city, in this county, in this state, which means you need to leave with the dignity that you um so-called dignity that you still have left. um Nick Metz did the same thing when the Elijah McClain situation. He knew that he was not fit to be leader of this community as far as the policing goes, as far as law enforcement. He did the right thing and he turned his badge in and everything, and he retired because he was not fit to lead this community in a lawful way. So, Art, I know you'll listen to this. Listen to this. Um, every time you see me, I will make you feel uncomfortable. Know that we are not cool. we will never be cool because you disrespected the family, which means you disrespected our community, and I'm not okay with that. And as an activist, I have to do what's best for the community. And you are not what's best for the community. So I would advise you, and I know, I know your cronies is listening right now. You tell the chief. You tell the chief that I do not like him, nor do I want his services in this community. And from here on out, every fucking conference you do, every fucking interview, every, anything that has to do with media, I will be there. And I will make you feel uncomfortable to where you want to quit. I will shut the whole shit down in a legal First Amendment way. Let me be very, very clear. In a legal, law abiding First Amendment way, only way I know how to do. This is not a violent situation. I don't wish death on Art. I want him to live well, just not in my city. I want you to be successful at any and everything that you do as far as the rest of your whatever you want to do, but just not here. You can't eat at this table anymore. You've proven that you don't give a shit about the people in this goddamn city, and there is no more talking. So stop calling my phone. I want to be clear. Stop calling my phone because we have nothing to talk about. You need to do the right thing. You need to apologize to the family and resign. And that is it. Thank you, MLH. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man. I have some. There's a lot of burning questions in chat, Kdot, and I'm going to get to it here in just a second. But you got, I think it's left unsaid. But I'm going to say it anyways. I'm behind Kdot all the way on this. It was a long deliberation between Kdot and I about this guy, and I actually was more skeptical of Art than Kdot was at the beginning, and my skepticism hasn't been unnoticed. But you have to give people a chance, right? And Lucky 225 is asking, you said that you've never called for a chief to resign, and he says not even Vanessa. No, he KDOT did not call for the resignation of Vanessa. And as far as her, I understand that that's a case that needs to be litigated. Lucky 225. I know fully well of the lawsuit that claims that Aurora Police Chief Vanessa used her power to ensure her partner's ex-girlfriend was arrested, which is a horrible thing if proven true, Lucky. But at this point, to me, those are just rumors. But there were a lot of problems with Vanessa, but the way that she left, I expressed this to KDOT. I thought they did Vanessa dirty. And of all the chiefs, there have been 4 in 5 years that have there was, what was it, Mintz or Mitz? I can't remember his name, Kdot, which Kdot already, that was the whole Elijah McClain thing, and he resigned. Then it was incumbent upon Vanessa to take over, and they forced her out. Am I right, Kdot? They forced Vanessa out. They did a no confidence vote and got her out. Are you still there, Kdot? Oh, I think you're on mute. Okay. Um, so I think Vanessa's the best of the bunch, as shaky as she was. But Oates was definitely, he was on the outs anyways. He was old as dirt. He was like one of those vultures in those old Looney Tunes cartoons, just fucking goofy as fuck. If you guys want to see more about how KDOT really means what he says about Art Acevedo, just check out the videos that's on our channel where KDOT has a confrontation with Oates, and Oates threatens KDOT on camera. which, in my opinion, Oates should be behind bars for a very long time for threatening a citizen like that. Um, there was some more stuff I want to get to here. John DeNicola says they voted him out in Florida. That I know a little bit about that, John DeNicola, and you're correct. They did vote him out in Florida, but there's more behind that one. I'm not going to fault Acevedo for the Miami thing, but we then get to the Houston thing, which I believe John definitely brought up too, and that included the Tuttles. And if you guys want to know more about that, by the way, Transparency Time, nice to see you. I forgot to say hi to you. Welcome to the chat. That case is very disturbing, and I did delve into that a little bit, John DeNicola. Basically, there was a no knock raid, and two innocent people were killed, which is an indictment on Art, and also an indictment on no knock warrants. Those are ridiculous. Yeah, John, we got him now. So, that's so. What are your thoughts on Vanessa first and foremost? Let's get that out of the way. K. Dot, Vanessa, the former police chief of Aurora.
Um, my thoughts on her.
Yes, because we need to address that first before we go on to discuss um, art.
Okay. I'll be more than happy. My thoughts. She doesn't have any bodies
Right.
under her tenure. As far as leadership, um, she we didn't agree on everything. Let me be very clear. We did not agree on everything. But as far as um, what the community needed at the time, Vanessa was that at the time because she got I mean, I focus on outcomes, and the outcomes is she got rid of multiple officers who were doing foul stuff in the department.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I have to give her praise on that particular situation. Even though that's part of her job description anyway, is to hold her officers accountable. Um, what I appreciated about Vanessa, she's never disrespected me. I times I didn't cuss her ass out, and I cussed her ass out plenty of times. She was able to still be professional and still be a listening ear of what she can do better. Um, and uh, and she did the best that she possibly could with the resources that she necessarily had.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to, because we're not even going to talk about Oates. He's a worthless piece of shit, and I'm glad he's gone. Um, let's move on to Art. John DeNicola said he also had a shooting. I believe that was in Houston as well, John DeNicola, where there was a shooting where a gentleman was shot 27 times in the back. Now, look, I
Jesus Christ.
understand his past, John. After delving into it, but we had to let things, you know, I guess, accumulate. I mean, it just happened that a 14-year-old kid was murdered by the Aurora PD, and it's under his watch. So yeah, trouble seems to follow this guy almost anywhere, um, almost anywhere he goes. Uh, John DeNicola says, by the way, the two officers lied on the affidavits to get a warrant for the Tuttle's home. Charges were dismissed because of the mishandling of evidence by former prosecutor and police. Yes, absolutely. There's no surprise there. Like, they get away with everything. I mean, and then they can just say, "Oh, it's a technicality. We mishandled evidence or whatever." But when it comes to them, right? When the average person goes up against the system, then everything is against them, and then you end up with dead people, and that's what we're saying here. It's time to go. It's time to just resign and move off into the sunset. These chiefs are making anywhere between 200 and 300,000 a year, so
Yeah.
uh, they have plenty of money to just quietly run off into the sunset and say, and call it a day. You know, you there, K Dot?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. It all
100%.
yeah, it all seems to fall under his watch. John Denicola says, "Yeah, it's strange, isn't that, John? I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, not knowing particulars of cases. I mean, you can't fault the chief for every single little thing that goes wrong in his district if he's a chief at a time, but at least have the human compassion to not disparage the family, not talk in a manner that defends your officers. I mean, KDOT, did I not call out the chief when we met last at that city council meeting? And I told him, I said, can't you can't in one breath, right? You can't in one breath say, well, there's an ongoing investigation and then defend your officers. How why would you do that? It makes no sense. There's a little bit of an echo transparency time, but that's just because KDOT's on a phone. I can't do anything about it. It is what it is. I mean, it just. Are you on Bluetooth? Is your Bluetooth on, KDOT?
Yeah, I'm on that. Am I echoing or?
Yeah, you're echoing a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. If
Hold
you
on.
take it off Bluetooth, then there'll be no more echo.
Better?
Yeah, much better, dude. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, plus perks and benefits. John Denicola says, yeah, it's anywhere between 200,000 and 300,000 a year, which I could probably FOIA his salary, and we can tell you that I didn't have it that for the show. Maybe I should have, but you know how they are with records requests. You put it in, and maybe 2 years later you'll get something. But you know, uh, go Foys. Welcome to the chat. We're discussing Art Acevedo and him having to leave. So um, let's see. What else we got here? So, Kata, can we let's delve into why you came to this conclusion and why I came to this conclusion with art. Like, what was the tipping point for you?
Um. Well, I did read a little bit into his past. Um. And then adding all those, as far as his background. And I don't understand why he was classified as Michael Jordan of all Chiefs or something. That he was praised to be. Um. And like I said, I really, I spoke with the father personally, and you know, the family is really, really, really hurting. You've noticed he hasn't made any type of media presence uh, yet, and then I think what really caught me off guard, there was a meeting that he was supposed to speak at, um, a community meeting, and uh, it was stated by a source, a credible source, allegedly that he was in fear of his life to come to this meeting, and that showed that showed me right there how much of a coward he was. That he couldn't stand on what he said, because if you have that same energy, I'm gonna need you to have that same energy all the way at community meetings and stand on that, right or wrong. And he showed his cowardice, and I don't know where he got why his life would be threatened. I don't know where. I don't know who. I know nobody from the community that wanted to threaten his life or whatever. I don't know where he got that from. And again, that scarcity mindset uh, should never be. That's not trained, by the way, or it shouldn't be trained. And you need to rely on your leadership training. Um,
Did we lose you, K Dot? He might be in a a bad area, but I hear what
Can
Kdot
you hear
is.
me okay?
Yeah, now we can hear you, dude. We you
Okay.
went out.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
It's
just
okay.
no, no, it like I said, he didn't show up for the community in each and every fashion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there were
And
that
and then
makes
and then he tried to have, this guy, who's done work in the community as far as Denver. I've never known him to be in Aurora. Like I said, he's been doing the work for a long time. Pastor Kelly, or Reverend Kelly, that clown, and to have him try to vouch for him, and and I think that's what he was trying to have me do for him. Like if there was any type of justification, or something to where that, okay, maybe he got it wrong or whatever, but no, no.
yeah. You're breaking in and out. Oh, I just got some information, but I'll share that with you later, Kdot. Um, I you must be in a bad area, Kdot. I understand what Kdot's saying. Transparency Time says if he's that afraid, you have no business in law enforcement, especially being chief of police. There's no
You
question.
guys hear me okay?
Now we can hear you again, Kdot. No
Oh,
worries.
sorry about that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he has, the thing is, me and you sat with him, uh on that occasion, and we broke down bullet points as far as what he needed to do and how he needed to act toward the community, because he needed to understand what he was stepping into, and he didn't really do his homework, on the community. Like nobody, for I would say 90% of the community does not, fuck with the police,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And at the end of the day, he didn't do his due diligence and write any notes down, and that's another thing I noticed when we were talking to him. He didn't write shit down. You know what I'm saying? That if you're a leader, you're gonna write stuff down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And none of that. He was just eating, and just. And I wanted to get me and MLH. We wanted to get straight to business, and and do the business of the people. And at the end of the day, he did not, show any type of leadership skills. Like I noticed every little thing. He didn't write anything down. He's a slick talker. Um, Matter of fact, he talks a little too fucking much. Um, and he think he can outthink, the both of us. And I'm sorry, this is not our first rodeo at all. And so, he was very, I don't know, he was very, very predictable, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, um, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. But yeah, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna read some comments here. Phyllis, welcome to chat. Stacey Pereira, hopefully I said that right, says, "When are you breaking out your TED Talk, KD?" Yeah, do you have a TED Talk plan, K Dot? I mean, that's every day K Dot talks for me. I mean, when K Dot speaks, I mean, usually people listen. So, go for it. It says Colorado cops have a wild west culture. I don't think there's any doubt about that, especially in Aurora. Go boys, they're the worst of the worst. I've said this. People scoff when I say this, K Dot, and I'm not joking when I say that the Aurora Police Department is either the first or second most corrupt police department in the entire United States. The only police department that I can think of that might be worse is down there in Mesa, Arizona, and I keep a close watch on a lot of the major cities around the United States. Saucy, thank you for the correction, Saucy. I appreciate that. Sounds like to me you let it go in one ear and right out the other ear. Uh, I don't know what you're referring to, transparency, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, talking to these people are just it's not conducive to getting anything done. You have to be LAPD has gotten a little bit better. Go Foys, they had a consent decree too, and they're still bad. Don't get me wrong. I know LAPD is pretty bad, but I would probably put them in the top five for sure. But Aurora, and yeah, Pueblo's got a problem down there. Lucky. The only reason I don't put Pueblo up in the upper tiers because they're a bit smaller than the Aurora police departments, the Denver police departments, the Tempe, Mesa, Arizona police departments. Even Colorado Springs is uh, quite a bit bigger than Pueblo. But I understand your plight down there, Lucky, for sure. Um, it's just a bit of ways away from me to get down. I mean, one day I'm going to make it down there. It's not too far away from Colorado Springs, but yeah. What do you think of the California ruling that cops can be held accountable for their actions? You can now sue cops. Well, shame Canadians. That Canadian. Thanks for being in here, Ash. Um, that's a good thing. It happens to be that here in Colorado, there's no qualified immunity anymore. So stay tuned on that, Ash. There's some stuff coming up in Colorado specifically that I'll be able to talk to you about later on. So just stay tuned on that. Yeah, what accountability? Saucy says. Yeah, exactly. I was talking about the police. Oh, yeah, the police chief. Yeah, he lets it go. And trust me, Transparent. Kdot was not bullshitting when we had a meeting with Acevedo. Both I and Kdot sat down with Acevedo to talk to him about a litany of issues, mostly his press conferences. His press conferences are absolutely ridiculous, right? He talks way too much, and he's ridiculous in himself. Um, GoFoy says LA's third consent decree. I know it's crazy. Um, Speaking of consent decrees, KDOT, I know Aurora is under their consent decree currently, and we're working with the monitor on these things. So the last time we talked to the monitor, KDOT, we were um, expressing our um, I guess, opinion that things were not getting better. And the thing is always, oh, well, it's a long process. Nothing happens in a day, blah, blah, blah. The same bullshit that people give you when in talking about these things. Shit has to change quick in Aurora, K. Dot. And one of the big things to do is get rid of this police chief and try another police chief because this one ain't working out. I think that's the first and foremost thing on both KDOT's mind and my mind is you got to go. You just have to go. It's under your watch. This kid, this 14-year-old, was killed. Did he have a BB gun or I'm sorry, a pellet gun? Yes. Is that a weapon? No. A firearm? No. It, it can definitely be used as a weapon, but it's not a firearm. So what the hell are these cops doing? If you saw the footage, um, it's pretty disturbing, you know. Johnny says July 1st, new laws coming into effect. One that's important to know is they will have to Mirandize you now before any question or it's an admissible court. Well, that's a good thing, Johnny, because the Supreme Court just basically took the Miranda laws away, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Um, Dramatic, visible change must be seen, Saucy says, and I couldn't agree with you more. The only way is money. Shame, Alan B says. Well, that's a big problem too, Alan B. The budget is insane in Aurora. Like they offered their officers $8,000 retention bonus, but there was no stipulations to that. So they gave all their officers $8,000, and any one of them could have just quit and went on with their $8,000. It was crazy and ridiculous. Phyllis, I have to agree. It seems that the state, not just the smaller towns, each state breeds, feeds the corruption. NYPD, Connecticut, New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado. Yeah, Phyllis, it's all over. It's not. There is um, a widespread problem with police forces, and this is something that we all in the community know, right? It's not new news. It's not something that is just not known. The problem is like 99% of the people out there think these people are fucking heroes. so nothing ever changes because of people's perception of these people. And when something like, what happened to this 14-year-old kid here happens, then the media spins it to make that person look really, really bad. And especially with black people. All right, a black kid, right, 14 years old. They're going to make him seem like he's an adult. They're going to talk about his criminal history. They're going to say, oh, he had weed. He was, under the influence of drugs. He was mentally unstable. All these excuses, right? And it's not just black people, but it seems to happen a lot more with black people than anybody else, and other minorities, right? So it's just a huge problem, and a lot of people are in economic situations that aren't conducive to be able to fight a lot of this shit. So it's just crazy. Let's see. Bravo's liking those new laws. I'm in agreement, man. I mean, if they have to Mirandize, so be it. I mean, I yeah. GoFoy says the Supremes are trash. I'm hoping you mean the Supreme Court. I couldn't agree with you more. I think there should be term limits, not only on them but members of Congress, like whether it be senators or I mean, I just think, I mean, you have like 90-year old. What is Feinstein, like 93 years old? I mean, crazy. Hell yeah, Callie Solomon says I could have used that sue a cockroach law 6 years ago. Yeah, they need to bill. They need to quit increasing the police budget and do more about the homeless. Transparency time. This is crazy, right? And KDOT has delved into the police budget. And not only homeless, right? I mean, homeless is a huge issue that we could discuss on another stream. Transparency. You guys know, like I haven't been out lately because I'm trying to, um, get my car, but that's a big part of what I do is reaching out to homeless people and trying to give them a sandwich or whatever food that I have to give. But the police budget's a problem, no doubt. Transparency time. Every year, it seems like every year. And KDOT, you probably are more familiar with the numbers than I am on Aurora's police budget. But this year, I think it was this year, KDOT. Correct me if I'm wrong, or last year, the budget
Hmm.
was $200,000 for youth programs, and I'm like, 200,000 is a goddamn slap in the face. You know what I'm saying, K Dot?
Yeah, they approved $200,000 for youth prevention, violent prevention programs.
Right.
Like one of the programs are struggle to love, uh, a struggle of love. I think one is the boys or boys BOZ. I'm sorry, BOYZ. Um, and a few other organizations. But I mean, yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. It is a slap in the face. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
to
We're
have
talking with
that.
DJ K Dot. We're multi-streaming, uh, over on K Dot's channel and my channel. We're talking about Art Acevedo, who has a long history. K Dot, do you want to get into his history? I have a couple of flyers that you sent me earlier.
Yeah, go ahead and get into that and let them know. Those are the other reasons why. Uh, that's enough background history to where he shouldn't even have been chief ever again.
Right.
Honestly, so
So this is the first flyer that KDOT sent me earlier. It says APD claims that Jordell was armed at the time of the incident. This is the 14-year-old kid we're talking about here, right? And yes, he was allegedly robbing a smoke shop of vaping products. I believe KDOT. I mean
yeah, uh-huh.
the details are a little sketchy even on that. I'd like to see the surveillance footage of it. But interim chief of Aurora PD, Art Acevedo, said in a press conference, these kids think that this is a video game. I don't know what they think this is. Killing a black child in cold blood is racist police crime. And then the next flyer, Chief Acevedo's history of misconduct, from keeping nude photos of a fellow officer in a squad car with whom he had an affair and showing them to other officers in the 2000s, to conducting a no-knock warrant in Houston in 2019 that killed two innocent people, to fraternizing with known right wing extremists like Alex Jones and members of the Proud Boys in the 2010s, clearly demonstrates he is unfit to handle cases of police crime with accountability to the people. Now, let me explain something. I mean, he appeared, I believe appeared on the Alex Jones show, right? Kdot?
Yeah, he was. I think he was a guest. I think twice. I want to say, but I
Now,
know once for sure.
right. Now, I don't care what anybody's political leanings are. I don't lean right or left. I don't care about Democratic politicians nor Republican politicians. I think they're all corrupt, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah, I
whatever
think they were both. I mean, yeah.
Right.
So
Whatever side of the aisle that you're on, put that aside, put that difference aside for just a minute. All right. It's easy to say, well, I'm a Republican and Alex Jones is he's always on the side of Republican policy and all this, but he's also a conspiracy theorist, which is extremely dangerous. Right. So you take that into account with the Proud Boys, right? The Proud Boys are a racist organization that I don't want to get into the history of the Proud Boys. If you want to look more about their history, just know that they're not a great um, organization to be associated with, whether or not you're Democrat or Republican, right?
correct.
So, in my eyes, that alone is it. It if you want to say guilty by association, that's one thing. But if you want to delve into the history of Art Acevedo with those organizations, feel free to go down that rabbit hole, and you'll find a lot. Okay, and there is no um, room for somebody at the top of a police force that has any connections, whether they be to the Proud Boys or any other racist organization. It would be akin to like if we found out somebody was the leader, sending messages back and forth to the leader of the KKK. It's similar. So you should, regardless of your political leanings, you need to keep your own personal agendas out of what the job entails. Aurora is a very diverse community, right? It's not you can't you're not going to be able to hide your past in a position of power like that. Somebody will eventually find the truth. Phyllis here says, what blows my mind is that the government actors are very aware of how dirty it is, but still turn the blind eye to it when it's being laid out in all the videos in black and white. Yeah, it's really, you're right, Phyllis. Saucy says, cancel APD's chief, acknowledge what's the next to four moves we can make in a unified front, KDOT. So what do you think the next steps are? Not only do we need to get rid of Acevedo, what's the next step, Kdot? At least next step.
Um, the next step also is to be more involved with the next, as far as the community, being more involved with the community as far as selecting the next chief, permanent chief. Not only that, we need to reinstate our civilian oversight board. When it comes to the Aurora Police, we need the police oversight task force, I believe they were called. Um, so there was two different entities, and we need to have those back. And not only that, we need to get rid of uh, the city council uh, people who oppose those ideologies. So and those are coming. I think in November. November, those are the re-elections for 6 seats in Aurora City Council is going to be available. And I encourage the city of Aurora to do the right thing and get rid of um, the tyrant city council members who refuse to get rid of this chief here. um, and who are on the side of the people, and uh, making sure that this doesn't happen again. Because we always go to the part, well, we need to talk about it to where this doesn't happen again. Okay, when we had a situation set up as far as the oversight board, and two oversight civilian boards, and you got rid of both of them, and see what happened. You know what I'm saying? So Elijah McClain was killed, and was murdered by Aurora police. Was there any oversight boards? No. And if they were at the direction of the chief. The chief only brought them in when he felt it was necessary to bring them in. It wasn't an automatic investigation into the situation uh, of any officer misconduct. And so this proves my point again. If you don't have any type of oversight, then this is going to continue to happen. We need to bring the oversight board back, and we need to automate. And not only that, they also need to have uh, say so in disciplinary as well.
I agree.
Just like the city council, they also need to have recommendations if this person needs to go or not. Because I mean, what's the difference about a jury? If we're judged by a jury, if any of us do anything wrong or criminally wrong, right, or civilly wrong, and those are regular citizens who are our peers. So it needs to be the same thing for this police department. So
I've talked about this before, Kdot, and this is actually I think we're talking about symptoms of a major problem, right? KDOT, like these are all symptoms, right? So if you change any one of these symptoms, whether it be the chief or anything like that, then the problem still exists. It just might temporarily kind of alleviate things, right? But it's necessary, right? But in my
correct.
opinion, but in my opinion, like it all starts with who you hire, which I've already proven that the hiring process at APD is a joke. By the way, because of my investigation into, I can't talk about it. My particular investigation into a particular officer. There have been a few changes to the hiring process. Before, the chief was not involved in the hiring process at all. But now it seems like the APD is allowing the chief to kind of oversee the hiring process and having a say in who gets hired and who doesn't. Now this chief needs to go, so it's pretty bad that he's going to have that power as well. But
Well, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
no,
finished.
I'm just saying the point remains, like that has to be part of the process, right? You can't have a part of the process where there's no oversight over the hiring, right?
Right.
And that's what's been happening in Aurora. Like they have I think it's called an advice. What is it? The advisory board, KDOT, that does all the hiring, or I can't remember what they call them.
Oh,
It's
they're called a civil service
Civil Service Commission. There it is.
commission. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, stuff like that. That they need to get rid of those people because I myself have the knowledge, and KDOT, obviously we have the knowledge that their hiring process is atrocious, up to and including letting officers slide when they cheat on their tests, and no real background checks per se. I mean, it's like it's a rubber stamp, KDOT, and it shouldn't be that way. So it starts with the hiring process for the officers themselves, and then
I agree.
after that, it's the training, right? The training is atrocious because they're automatically taught that everybody is the enemy of the police officers. The public is the enemy. When nothing could be further from the truth. We're supposed to
Yeah.
be working together, right? They're supposed to be, even though the Supreme Court has ruled that they're not supposed to protect or serve us in any form, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, that's the way it should work. Protect and serve, right? In
I
addition
agree.
to law enforcement, but it's not that way. So that's a ruling that the Supreme Court should overturn. You know, Alan B says, "How about calling 1A just say filming?" Um, Yeah, the filming crew, I guess, the filming community. Kip LA says it's never been about the people, it's the money. We need to think outside the box now. If the peoples have the money, we could fight back. It's not a matter of the community not having the money, because if you put up all the community's money together, there's enough money. But why should the community put up their hard earned money to pay for something that the Aurora PD department should already be ahead of the game with? Kip LA. I agree with the mentality there, but it's a problem. It's a systemic problem, right? And the only way you can
Right.
start taking care of these systemic issues is to attack it from within, right? And within is the hiring process, the training, the oversight, I mean, the discipline. The discipline is atrocious, and KDOT and I proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt. You need to look no further than Officer Sergeant Douglas, who's sitting at a desk making $141,000 a year and oversees thousands of police records. So you have a corrupt cop who's sitting there making $141,000 off of taxpayers, right? Everybody wants to talk about welfare and how shitty welfare is, and we should abolish welfare. You know what the real welfare is? The checks the police are getting, only they get it on a much more grander scale. Right, the average welfare recipient probably makes anywhere between $10,000 and $18,000 a year if they're on welfare the entire year. Well, this guy sitting at a desk doing nothing pretty much is making $141,000 a year. So tell me there isn't a problem there. It's not welfare. Welfare is not the problem. Police welfare is the problem. Corporate welfare is the problem. You know, Stuff like that is the
Yep.
issue.
And I want to be very clear. And now that we've made this official announcement, I know I have mentioned it briefly. And also thank you guys for my birthday shout outs. Thank you, I appreciate it. MLH's birthday is is coming up here. So, um, but anyway, um, now that we've made this announcement, me and MLH, and we talked about it, and we're like, all right, we need to make this announcement. So the people clearly know who we stand with, and that's with them. And it's gonna be a target on us.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
yeah,
a major target on us.
yep,
Um, so if we just get randomly stopped or whatever, I want y'all to be prepared for that. If we get randomly harassed, I want you guys to be prepared for that. But I want to make this very clear, Aurora Police. If you plan on doing that, that's like Christmas to us.
yeah, yeah,
I want to
yeah.
be very clear. That is like Christmas to us. So we want we dare you to do that shit. We dare you to, because
Right.
we're with all of it. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah,
We
we're
are with
definitely.
all of it.
Yeah,
And
we're prepared.
if that's the route that you want to take, uh, and try to harass me in MLH, we take it willingly. But at the end of the day, you're going to lose. So go ahead and try that shit if you want to, but it's not going to end up in your best favor. So
Right, right. It never will.
I
And
digress.
and we're prepared. We never break the law, you know.
Nope.
So if you're expecting us to break the law, then keep waiting and you'll grow old, you know. You'll
Yep.
build
Keep waiting because it's never gonna happen. We
right.
abide by the law, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna put major pressure on your police department, just like we did with Elijah McClain and any other situations that you guys fucked up and screwed up on. We're gonna put pressure on it, and at the end of the day, we get a lot of times. Oh, well, you'll catch a lot of flies with honey. Well, first of all, I don't like fucking flies. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't like fucking flies. But what I do like is honey. Not honey. I don't even like that shit. I like uh, I like diamonds. And if you put enough pressure on coal, that's what you get. You get diamonds. And so that's what me and MLH plan to do. We want diamonds in our police agency. walking around shining and being stars like they should be because they were given a badge of public trust.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what they should be doing. So
Yeah, transparency time brought up another good sticking point too. It's the police unions. I firmly believe police unions should be abolished, and there should be an
I
oversight
agree, one
oversight.
hundred percent.
Yeah,
If not abolished, heavily uh, with heavily looked at with the oversight board,
yeah,
because they are just because they are. I want to be very clear. Unions are private entities. They are not funded by the public. But then again, they kind of are.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, and the thing is, yeah, I agree with them. I think there needs to be a huge oversight when it comes to unions because they're super corrupt.
yeah,
And there
yeah.
needs to be, I think there needs to be a re-election every year for a president. Doesn't
Yeah, I
need to be
agree.
the same president.
Right, I agree. Term limits. Neslover, welcome to chat. Phyllis says we need to change the title of oversight to the Accountability Board of Ethics. That would be a
I
welcome
love
change.
it. I
Yeah, I like that.
I
That's
love
good.
that. I
Saucy
agree.
says blessed born days. Saucy says so. Thank you very much, Saucy. My birthday's not till Monday, so it's all good in the hood. Even though they took away qualified immunity, they still aren't getting brought to bear. John Denicola said that's absolutely correct, but the tide might be turning on that, John Denicola. You're going to want to stay tuned to both KDOT's channel and my channel because there's stuff coming up on qualified immunity. Trust me. Happy early birthday, MLH. King Solomon says thank you very much, Solomon. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and
Mm,
I think I'm gonna do possibly a part two on qualified immunity, just to die, and another part two of whistleblowers as well,
yeah,
because
yeah,
people need to really understand what their role is and how important whistleblowers are within the industry of governmental industries. I will say this. Um, um, uh, I have to get ready to get back.
yeah. No
Um,
problem. We're gonna wrap up here, K Dot. Any final thoughts, K Dot, before we wrap?
um, I stand with the people. I stand with the family who was suffering from the incredibly dumbass actions of the racially profiling officer. Um, Forgot his last name. Basically, the shooter. We just settled in February of paying out $100,000 because he wanted to racially profile uh, a black man sitting in his friend's car. Didn't commit any crime, didn't do anything. Uh, yeah. So a big middle finger to Art Acevedo. A big middle finger to Snap or whatever the fuck his name is, and big middle finger to the actual shooter, the criminal, the murderer. Uh, I forgot what his last name was, but fuck you too. And Chief, like I said, do the right thing, apologize to the family, and turn in your badge, your gun, all that shit. Turn it all in.
Retire. Use all those millions of dollars that you have in the bank to go cheat on your wife some more, Acevedo.
Right,
Yeah,
right. There we go.
do anything but be a chief here in Aurora, Colorado. So, look, my final thoughts are as follows. Jen says they've been put on notice. Bunch of clapping emojis. Thank you. King Solomon says later, MLH and K Dot. Good to see you both. Good to see you too, Solomon and everybody in chat. My final thoughts are as follows. Stay tuned to the K Dot Experience channel, DJ K Dot the Party, and my channel, Mexican Long Hair on YouTube. For all of KDOT subscribers, and vice versa, subscribe to KDOT's channel. If you like what you heard from me on KDOT's channel, subscribe to my channel, and let's get this thing rolling. And let's make some change. That's my big thing here with the Aurora PD. So Thugs with badges, Saucy says. I couldn't agree with you more, man. All right, K Dot. Anything else? Anything you want to plug before we go?
Yes, one more thing. The headquarters is 303. Um, was it? I think it's 793-6000. Uh, can you double check that for me, Emily?
I'm looking right now, dude. Hold
I
on. I
was
don't want to
asking.
give bad information here. Give me 1 second, K Dot.
Okay. I encourage everybody on the stream to call the headquarters, and like I said, the Aurora Police Department, um, uh, in Colorado, not the one in Illinois. uh, I encourage everybody to call the headquarters. Uh,
It's
call city
303.
management.
Yeah, three oh
Sorry,
three 739 6000 is that number
yeah,
for headquarters.
739. There we go.
Yeah.
739-6000. I encourage everybody. If somebody can put that in the chat, one of my moderators, that'd be great. Um, it's again 303-739-6000, and demand that the chief resign. Hey, I ask everybody just, you know, be as cordial as possible if you can. No threatening, no violence or anything like that. Just just expect to give your grievances to Aurora Police, your government, and let them know that you're not happy with the chief's job. You're not happy with his performance, and he needs to go ahead and retire or resign at least from this department.
Yeah.
So um, I encourage you guys to do that. So
Phyllis Peterson says, "Look what the PD has done to Mata and Directee James Freeman for corners. The PD will be harassing you both because of nothing more. You're exposing their dirty, grimy wrongdoing." And I
yep,
couldn't agree with you more, Phyllis. But you know what? Here's the difference between me and all the and KDOT and all those other people. We're really prepared. You know, some people aren't prepared. I'm not saying Mata and Directee and Freeman and Four Corners weren't prepared. But look, we know what's coming for us. There's a storm brewing, Phyllis, and it's definitely coming for us. But KDOT and I have both proven time and time again we're going to weather that storm. So,
yep,
uh,
and I also like to repeat the score. Three
yes.
and 0.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of my score, K Dot. Check this out. I'm 0-0. You know why? I've never been arrested, but I know for a fact if I get arrested, my arrest record's going to look a lot like DJ K Dot's. It's going to be I'm going to win every time. So
We're gonna win. That's
we're going
all
to
we
win.
do. We don't lose. We learn.
All we
We
do is
never
win,
lose.
win, 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 win. You know that song, K Dot. You know.
But I appreciate you guys. Thank you, MLH, for doing this with me.
Yeah, no problem,
Uh,
dude.
my brother from another.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's all I have.
All right, everybody, stay safe out there. Thanks everybody in chat. Jen, thanks for being a great mod in there as always, and all of KDOT's mods, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. We will see you guys in another video very, very soon. Thanks everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe out there.